Yeah, hi, Jan here from Using Stuff, and we're here in the Olympic Hall in Munich with Pete, the drum tech from Jon Larsens from Volbeat.
Hello, hello.
When did your work day started today?
I get in about 10 o'clock in the morning usually because I have to get in after the stage is already built, and I can't really get on stage till they do the set and they do sound and lights and stuff like that. So about 10 a.m.
Yeah. And are you quick in setting up the drum set?
If I have to be, I am, but usually during the day I can take my time and I try to clean stuff, and if something's broken I got to fix it, and if the heads need to be changed I change them, you know, stuff like that. So it depends on the situation. If we're doing festivals or something, sometimes we have to be really quick.
Yeah.
So I can probably set up this whole kit in under 30 minutes if I have to.
Okay. Without
cleaning anything or doing any kind of details, you know.
Yeah.
So.
And what would you say? How often do you change the skins?
Normally, these drum heads, these are Evan's EC2s, clear, that we're using on his toms, and they last probably 7 or 8 shows before I have to change them. He's a pretty hard hitter, but I can get some good life out of them. And you know, once I feel like they can't be tuned very well anymore, I try to change them out. And if he tells me to do it, I will. Yeah. But he just uses me as a reference, you know. Really. Yeah. So.
And are you doing all the tuning stuff?
Yep. Yeah, I do everything except play the show. You know, Jon is pretty hands off unless I ask him something or an opinion on something, or if he wants to try something new, you know, things like that. He seems to trust me enough to get it right every night, you know, and he shows up at the show, and sometimes they sound check, sometimes they don't, and if there's something wrong at sound check, he can tell me. If there's something wrong at the show, he can tell me. Yeah. So, yeah, I mean, I use my own judgment, and I've kind of learned over the years, I've been with him 5 years now, I kind of learned over the years, you know, what he likes and how to do everything for him. So. And
before the show, the tour started, have you talked about using a new set or new cymbals or stuff like that? Yeah, well, what we changed for this tour was we changed to black hardware on all the drums, and also new artwork. So this is all from the new record, Seal the Deal and Let's Boogie. Yeah. And there's a company in Maryland over in the States that does wraps, vinyl wraps for the drums. Yeah. So it's called Bum Wrap Drum Company. And they wrapped all Jon's drums for us. They made the wraps and they sent them to me. So I had to disassemble everything and wrap the drums and then put everything back together. You got to cut all the screw holes, and it's time consuming. But they came out great. I mean, they did a really, really nice job with the artwork on them. And so that's what's new this year for this album cycle. You know? Yeah. I wanted to change it to kind of match the album theme. Yeah. And have you like one setup for Europe and one setup for the US, or are you traveling all over the world with this set? This set will only be in Europe. Okay. He has a US drum set that stays there, which also has a wrap on it, but it's old classic movie monsters. He's a horror movie fan. Yeah. So I wrapped him earlier this year when we did the US. I wrapped him in old classic movie monsters. Okay. And which set is he using right now? This is a Pearl Masters Premium Legend SST. It's a maple kit, 6-ply maple drums. Yeah. He's using a hybrid exotic snare drum, which is actually it's a combination of kapor wood and fiberglass. Okay. It's got a layer of fiberglass. It's an 8x14, so it's extra deep too. He used to use a 6.5 steel drum, and we changed to this a year ago, and he really likes it because it's got more beef, more bottom end to it. Yeah. He just upgraded to the Pearl Redline pedals. It's a new series. He used to use the Eliminators, and the Eliminators are similar, but they changed a few things like the spring mechanism, and the footboard is wider. The beater is a little more balanced, and it's silver instead of black. Okay. Yep. Yeah. And all the hardware is Pearl. And when you tune it, do you try to tune it like it's like the studio set on the albums, or? I don't deal with the studio set. Yeah. They have a studio tech that deals with all that. So I just deal with live, and I know how it's supposed to sound. I know how he likes it to sound. So I just go with that, and then if my front of house guy says something sounds weird when I line check, then I change it until it sounds good. You know? Yeah. But generally, it's tuning for the live sound. You know. Yeah. And when it comes to cymbals, it's the same like we're using before. In the States and here. He hasn't changed his setup since he's been with Peisty. He's pretty much played the same setup.
except Peisty discontinued the 20 series,
Yeah.
the 20 custom series, and he still has a few, like this Crash and the Chinas and these hi-hats are all 20 series, but they don't make them anymore.
Yeah.
So once he cracks those or breaks them or whatever, he's shit out of luck. He's got to find another
Yeah.
another cymbal to use, which in the States, he uses a precision signature China because
Okay.
we don't have any more of these in the States.
Yeah.
So, you know, once he runs out of them, that's it.
Yeah.
But they're all Peisty, yeah. They've treated him really, really well.
Yeah.
And he likes the sound of them a lot, so.
And you also selected choose
He
the
did.
microphones?
Oh, I thought you meant cymbals, my bad.
Yeah.
The microphones our front of house guy selected.
Okay.
We use all Audix mics. All the toms are internal. They're mounted inside the drums. The bass drums mic'd inside the drums. We have D2s and a D4 in the 16, D2s in all the toms. We have a D6 in both kicks, a D6 in the 18-inch floor tom. And we have an I5 on the top of the snare. We have a D3 underneath the snare. We use ADX 51s for the underheads under all the cymbals and on the hi-hats. And then we use micros under the chinas.
Yeah.
So it's like 20 channels of
Okay.
drums. Because then we use triggers as well. We use Roland RTK 10 triggers
Just
on the bass drums
Yeah.
just to get the slap sound. And we use the Alesis DM5 units to create the tick.
yeah.
So we use the mic for the boom and the trigger for the tick.
Okay.
Yep.
And what is your main job during the show? Just to check that everything's working right, or
If people don't see me during the show,
Yeah.
then I did my job right.
Okay.
Basically, because nothing's broken. I stand by. I mean, I sit over there, usually to his left,
yeah,
or I go in the barn behind him, and I look through the crack to keep an eye on him.
yeah,
But generally, if all I have to do during the show is give him a beer,
yeah,
then I'm doing a pretty good job. You know.
Yeah.
So most of the time, so you know, I mean, stuff comes loose and microphones fall sometimes or whatever. So I come out and fix them. And there's been a few, very, very few nights that he's blown a microphone out, like in a tom,
yeah,
and that's where you can't change it.
yeah.
So I always have to come out and clip one on the outside, and just unplug it and from the shell and plug it in. Because we're actually using May systems on the shells on the drums.
Yeah.
That's how we plug in the XLRs. So May made a really cool system. You can run it right through the breather hole. There's no drilling or anything you have to do to your drum. And so we use those. And so it's easy to unplug it and plug it into a microphone and clip it to the rim if something goes wrong. you
Yeah.
know. So we just externally mic it. But yeah, I mean, he's what he would say if he was here is the most important part of his drum set is his bobbleheads.
Yeah.
I don't know if you noticed them, but
Just
he-
to be in the right mood.
well, yeah, he's a Kiss fan, he's a Ramones fan, he's a Misfits fan, he's an Iron Maiden fan,
Yeah.
and we have a bunch of them, and I kind of change them out different every day.
Okay.
Kiss is always there, the Ramones are always there, but I changed the last two out to different characters. In the States, he's got all monsters.
Yeah.
He's got bobbleheads everywhere. Every kit that he has, he's got 3 drum sets, so every kit has a different assortment of
Yeah.
bobbleheads on it. So I'm kind of a bobble tech as well. This guy, Frankenstein, he goes with us worldwide. He's been to every show,
Okay.
all over the world. He's been to every
Yeah.
show, and he always goes with us.
Yeah. And during a show, do you still have some time to enjoy the show, or is it more
Yeah,
like
I mean,
it's-
pretty much. I wear in-ear monitors
Yeah.
as well as John does too, and I have his mix in my ears, so I really kind of have to listen too. I'm not, I can switch between his mix and a crew mix.
Yeah.
I pay attention most of the shows, so sometimes I miss stuff. I try to pay attention to if like the band goes up on the ramps, because especially if I'm out here, I try to pay attention to make sure that they don't fall off, obviously. Because sometimes misstep.
Yeah.
They might, but it's never happened, luckily, thank God. So yeah, I mean, I enjoy it. I mean, hearing the same songs every night can get old, I guess.
Yeah.
Even if you like the band, but for the most part, yeah, I enjoy it. Yeah.
Yeah. And for how long will you be on this tour?
This tour ends. The Europe part of it ends like towards the end of November.
Okay.
Or the last week of November, and
Yeah.
then we have 6 days off, and we do the UK till December 3rd. So we'll be off the road December 3rd. We've been touring since April.
Yeah.
We did the States, we did summer festivals in Europe, we did the States again, and now we're back here again doing arenas.
So you have earned your holidays in December.
Yeah, for sure. We always take the holidays off. They're good about taking December, January off.
Yeah.
And we'll see what happens next year. We're not sure yet,
Okay.
But-
Then thank you very much for showing us
no problem.
the kit
my pleasure.
and
my
give
pleasure.
us a little insight into your
absolutely.
daily job.
Absolutely.
And have a nice show tonight.
Thanks. Appreciate it. My pleasure.
Thank you.
All right.
1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 4, 5, 6. Yep, and 7. Yep. Yeah. 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 And everything, please.